Welcome everyone to James Plays Games. My name is James and I play games. I don't generally buy consoles at launch, and it's not because I'm perpetually broke, though that is one of the main reasons. No, it's also because there's usually not a lot of games to play right off the bat, and waiting just kind of lets the companies iron the wrinkles out, if you will. So it wasn't until early 2016 that I decided to make the leap to the next generation with the PlayStation 4. In the early years of the console's lifespan, Ubisoft decided to make their own jump to the next generation with Assassin's Creed Unity, if you don't count Black Flag, that is. Saying the launch was a little rough is an understatement, but to be fair, it is an Assassin's Creed game, whatever that means. In fact, it's probably my least favorite Assassin's Creed game, and I still look back at the first one in the series as a horribly repetitive piece of crap. So yeah. Let's dive deep into the animus as we explore the memories of Arno Victor Dorian in Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity was released alongside Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is one of the only games in the series I haven't played, but I know it has a lot in common with Unity, as I kinda wish I hadn't played it either. It follows Arno Victor Dorian, the son of an assassin who was taken in by a Templar following his father's death. Years later, when Arno's guardian is killed yet again, he embarks on a quest to take revenge on those responsible, but he doesn't ever seem to care about who killed his biological father, and before you tell me that's covered in Rogue, that doesn't explain why Arno never shows curiosity or interest in the subject. In order to explain why I dislike Arno's character, let's first analyze what made Ezio Auditore such a great protagonist, and why Ubisoft has been trying, and failing, to recreate their success since Assassin's Creed Revelations. Ezio Auditore was a troublemaker and a playboy, but was also calculating, methodical, and it helped that he had prime motivation. Ezio Auditore also had a complete arc, meaning that we were able to step into his shoes through Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations, which gave him a simple 3-act structure if you don't count the movie that covers his death. If you look at any of the games since, Connor Kenway's story began and ended in one game. Shay Cormac presumably ended his story in one game. Aveline de Grand Prix had a DLC outside of her game, but beyond that, she presumably ended her story in one game. And now Arno Dorian definitely ended his story in one game. Even Altair ibn La'ahad, one of the most cardboard cutouts of the series, got a major role in the second game outside of the series' debut, which gave him a great deal more character development that literally no one else in the series has had. It's interesting that for a series that until 2016 has prided itself on annual releases, they can't find the time to give their main characters the development they need for the audience to care about them. Yes, Unity gives Arno motivation through De La Serre's murder, but it also makes you wonder why he didn't seek revenge on the person who killed his actual father, seeing as how the game seems to think that his failure to save him when he was a kid has haunted him for his entire life, but nope. Arno talks more about avenging De La Serre than anything else, and I don't know if he ever even mentions his father's name outside of the prologue. It also tries to tell this tragic tale of star-crossed lovers. One's a Templar and one's an assassin, and fate has forbid them from being together. But they'll show that it doesn't matter if you want peace through control or free will. Love will strike when you least expect it. Except, it's not a convincing romance in the first place since it's not founded in reality, according to the reality they've given us so far. If we're to consider the reality of the series, Assassins and Templars are two sides of the same coin. One side wishes to establish peace through freedom, the other side wishes to establish peace through control. It doesn't seem all that different until you take into account their methods of achieving this goal, and then they couldn't be more different. Yet Ubisoft keeps trying to blur the lines between the two sides by making Shay Cormac abandon the Assassins for the Templars, while Arno is born to an assassin yet raised by and falls in love with a Templar. I know that, like in reality as it is in Assassin's Creed, the issues aren't black and white. There are some shades of gray, but it feels less like a morality lesson and more like they can't figure out what comes next in their own series. So they're distracting us with stories that are either predictable or don't matter. In terms of gameplay, I can't really complain. It's your traditional Assassin's Creed, but with a few polished features such as rifles, pistols, and other gadgets. Introducing the Phantom and Berserk blades, Unity allows players to silently dispatch or enrage enemies from afar, which definitely comes in handy during missions with swarms of guards to take care of. I found that I chose not to use those as much during the main missions as I was more focused on the story, but in the post-game I found myself having fun watching the guards fight amongst each other while my Berserker was picking them off one at a time. I found that some of the textures were extremely subpar, such as the hairs on Arno's beard, which reminded me of Snake and the Phantom Pain on PS3. And while I'd like to comment on the moments when I could see through Arno's model, it wasn't as bad as the stories I've heard from when it first launched, so I'm willing to look past that with hopes that they just had a hiccup with the next generation technology, and hope that it's improved in Syndicate. I found that there were some missions that were absurdly difficult, which had me off the walls in pure white-hot rage. But my goal of beating these games before I make a review of them pushed me forward, and in due time, the deed had been done, and I put Assassin's Creed Unity in the past. So, while Unity is definitely my least favorite Assassin's Creed game, I tolerated it for the most part. It didn't have a playable modern-day storyline, and the main character was kind of sort of the worst, and the plot was incredibly weak, but I mean, I guess it advances the storyline a little bit, and that's all I wanted, I guess? It wasn't awful, it was just pretty bad, and for that all I can hope is that Syndicate succeeds where Unity failed. Oh, and I can also hope that Assassin's Creed Empire is announced sooner rather than later, and that it's the best title to date. But we'll see. It's hard to hope when Ubisoft is involved. Thanks for watching James Plays Games. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed Unity? Did you agree with my points, or do you think that I was being a little too hard on Ubisoft? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends to get the discussion rolling. This has been James Hurd, signing off from Pixelation. I'll see you next time.